2020 has been a weird year for sports. Whether it be the NBA finishing their season in a bubble or a 60-game regular season in baseball, things just have seemed off. But for me, what feels the most off is the New England Patriots not looking like contenders. Every single year I have watched football, the Patriots were in the running to win a Super Bowl, and most of the time, they were in the Super Bowl. This year, they're an uninspiring 4-5 and don't have a true identity on their team. And it'd be easy for me to say Bellichick was a benefactor for having the greatest quarterback of all time on his team. And I truly thought this for a while. But looking at it more, I'm starting to realize that old Billy B and his footlongs are playing the long con. The Patriots will be back to contenders for the Super Bowl next year. Not 2 years from now, not 3 years from now, next year. And it's for 3 simple reasons. 1, their opt-outs are returning. 2, the Patriots have 9 draft picks. And with the exception of wide receivers, Billy B is a great drafter. And 3, the Patriots have the 4th most cap space in the entire league in a free agency class, which has some exciting players in it. But let's look at the 2020 opt-outs. The Patriots lost their cornerstone on defense in Dante Hightower, an established veteran safety and glue guy in Patrick Chung, and their starting right tackle, Marcus Cannon. If you don't think those guys will at least amount to 1, maybe 2 more wins, you're crazy. I'm going to give the Patriots the benefit of the doubt. They will get the best out of these players when they come back, and it will greatly help the defensive and offensive systems. Now I'm going to bounce the Patriots draft. Bill Bellichick, despite what we've been saying recently about the inability to draft wide receivers, is a great general manager when it comes to draft night. To argue that is foolish. The Patriots will get at least 3 solid stars out of this year's draft, maybe more. They've got 9 picks, 7 in the first 4 rounds. That's huge. I can't wait to see what Belichick does with those. I only pray he decides to address wide receiver and free agency instead of on draft night. Speaking of free agency, the Patriots have $68 million in cap space, and they are going to spend a lot of it. Bill Belichick said recently in a radio interview that they went all in to win 3 Super Bowls, appear in another, and get to an AFC Championship game in the last 5 years. They are about to do that again. At the very worst, they are going to get 4 or 5 really good starters and might splurge a little bit on an average quarterback in Jacoby Brissett. At the best, they are going to make giant moves which will reshape their offense and defense. I'm talking about going after guys like Dak Prescott, Von Miller, and Melvin Ingram. This class is deep at linebacker and defensive end, and Dak Prescott is an enigma. We don't know where he'll go. He probably isn't too happy in Dallas. But heck, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to steal AJ Green away from the Bengals. The sky is the limit with all that cap space. But I think these 3 reasons, paired with the fact the Patriots will most certainly not have the toughest schedule in all of football, will secure the Patriots somewhere between 11 and 14 wins and lead them to a deep playoff run. I hope everyone enjoys their year off from the tyranny of New England, because next year, Belly is back.
You know, you need to quit. You're so quick to disrespect Cam Newton and what the Patriots are still going to do this year. You're jumping around from Dak Prescott to Jacoby Brissett and instantly writing off Cam Newton as the starter next year. And I think you're way too quick to do that. Now, I agree with your sentiments that the Patriots are going to be way better next year from all their draft capital, from the amount of cap space they have. Obviously, that's going to wind up being correct. But Cam Newton, yes, I know it's the Jets. The Jets are not great, but he still helped elevate his team, and his defense was just playing poorly and getting shelled by Joe Flacco to a victory with a very solid performance. Last game, in an ugly win in poor weather, outplayed Lamar Jackson, last year's MVP, and elevated the Patriots to a win. Now, looking down the rest of their schedule...
Hold on. Whoa.
What am I holding on for?
He outplayed Lamar Jackson on the last drive because Bill Belichick uses godlike powers and heavenly connection to recreate the 40 days and 40 nights flood that happened to Noah. The rest of that game, Lamar was leaps and bounds ahead of Cam Newton. But continue.
I mean, who won the game? The Patriots did. Cam Newton played well once again, got them the win. And what's going to happen the rest of the season is going to lead him to getting a contract extension, probably around 2 years or something like that. When you take a look at the teams left on the schedule, Texans, they're a bad team. Very winnable game. All the games are winnable. Cardinals, they'll probably lose that one, but the Patriots have only been blown out once this year with Cam Newton starting. Chargers can't seem to find a way to win. Rams, which Jared Goff is going to show up that game. Dolphins, we know how weird Dolphins and Patriots matchups are. The Patriots seem to blow it.
But they haven't had their yearly loss to the Dolphins yet, Tristan. That one's an L.
Who won the first? They beat
the Patriots. The Patriots won the first one against Fitzmagic.
I know, but the matchups are weird. The Dolphins look better right now. The Pats could win that one. They play the Bills again. they're one Cam Newton fumble away from winning that game. If Cam Newton doesn't fumble, they probably wind up winning, or at least going to overtime. And the Jets are the Jets. Even though the last one was close, they'll probably wind up winning those games. Now, I'm not saying they'll necessarily make the playoffs, but I do think Cam Newton is going to look good. I think he's going to pick up wins for the Patriots down the stretch, and I think this is going to lead him to picking up a contract.
You're crazy. One, you just hooblawed your way into saying they'd beat the Rams, Dolphins, and Bills, 3 really good teams.
I just said
Even
no.
you backed
Sorry
away
to
from
stop you.
saying-
Sorry to stop you. I wasn't saying that they're going to definitely beat those teams. I'm merely pointing out that all those games are winnable games that they could wind up winning, which could lead to Cam Newton getting a contract.
Well, I think most games in the NFL are winnable unless you play in New York or New Jersey, but I can sort of see what you're getting at with that. I just don't think they'll win many of those games. Like, the way I'm seeing it, they've got at least 3, maybe 4 losses sitting on their schedule, the back half of it. That's not a playoff team, even with 7 seeds. And look, it's obvious Belichick is trying to win somewhat this season. You wouldn't have brought in Cam Newton if you were going to tank. You would have let Hoyer the Destroyer take the reins, or Jarrett Stidham run things around.
Jarrett Stidbum.
He's trying to win, but it'd be nice. But Jarrett Stidham, Brian Hoyer, they would have been safe options. He's trying to win this year. They're not going to. They're not going to make the playoffs. And even if they somehow make the playoffs, they will get shelled in the first round. That is not what the Patriots want. I'm sorry. I hope Cam Newton finds a starting role or a backup job somewhere else, but it's not happening next year. If you could go after guys like Dak Prescott, one of the best passers in the league prior to his injury, I don't see why you won't. And if you can go after Jacoby Brissett, a guy nurtured and fostered in the Patriots system, and we know Bill Belichick likes quarterbacks he drafted not named Tom Brady. That's been apparent with the Jimmy Garoppolo thing. If you don't think you'll at least try and get Jacoby in town, I think you're crazy. I think both those two are way higher on the Patriots priority board than Cam Newton. But I'm talking about the rest of their future. The rest of their future is bright. Even if they've got a blight at quarterback, they will be fine the long term. Short term, they're still in trouble. They're a bad team. At best, a mediocre team.
Do you think they're finally going to hit on a first-round pick? I mean, when you take a look at, they haven't really had a good first-round pick since 2012 when they picked up both Donta Hightower and Chandler Jones. They seem to rarely hit. N'Keal Harry, bust. Sony Michel's injured right now, but they also always have like 4 random rotational running backs.
I mean, they didn't have a first last year, but Kyle Duggar is pretty good. I'd say Isaiah Wynn has some meaningful potential. Isaiah Wynn is he? Yeah.
I think he's
Isaiah Wynn. I'm iffy. I'm not willing to say he's a bust, but I'm not willing to say he's an amazing player yet. He started every game this year, so I think that says something. But you don't need to hit your first round pick when you're the Patriots. You can draft guys like J.K. Jackson, or you can get one of the best offensive linemen in football, in Michael Onwenu. I hope I'm saying that right. But the Patriots have never been about, okay, we're selecting this guy great in the first round, or taking him with the 30th overall pick. Because one, guaranteed talent isn't around at the 30th overall pick. And 2, Bill Belichick is going to hit some late round picks. The substance of the first round pick does not particularly matter when you're going to get quality pieces from all over the draft.
I mean, we see it kind of mattering, though, with them having virtually no offensive weapons and Cam Newton having to carry the team the entire season so far. But we're kind of rambling on now.
We never do that. That has been our thoughts on the Patriots, both present and future. I see them as regaining their dynasty status sooner rather than later. Tristan's a bit too sold on Cam Newton in the present. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Is Belichick better without Brady? Right now, it's looking like a no, but we'll have to wait and see.